In B.J. Bernstein, who's a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. You've certainly been on both sides of this. Listening to the judge deny this defense request for an acquittal, I want to get your take on it. I want to listen to it, what exactly he said, and then I want you to help us sort of just make sense of it. Okay.
The court specifically finds that the state has presented substantial, competent evidence for this jury, who is the trier of fact in this particular case, to decide this particular issue.
I want to repeat that. Chief Judge Perry said the state presented substantial, competent evidence. So was he giving an opinion here, BJ? I mean, is that how it sounded to you, or is that typical?
Well, no, it's really, this is the legal part of it, where the jury's not there and the lawyers, he is starting to establish a standard if she is convicted and it goes up on appeal. What he has to decide, which is, 99% of the time what judges decide is, there's enough there for a jury, and that's what he said, the trier of fact, which is the jury, to determine what happened. So he's not really saying which way it's going to go. He's just saying there's enough there for them to figure it all out.
There was so much evidence presented, a lot of scientific evidence. In this case, we have the duct tape. We have an impression of a sticker at the crime scene. We have hair in the car. We have the smell of decomposition in Casey's trunk. Did the prosecution prove its case?
Well, the thing is they use circumstantial evidence. And think back to your Perry Mason, your Law and Order TV shows. There's a difference between direct evidence, where someone can say, I saw Casey do this to Kaylee. That's direct evidence. Here, it's all circumstantial. She looked things up on the internet. She was partying when she said she didn't know. Who is the nanny, Zoe, who didn't exist? So those are all circumstantial evidence, which puts in a different level of analysis for the jury. And the judge talked about it today, about what the law is in Florida and many states on circumstantial evidence, which is there's a little bit more required from the state. And so we can't actually just say right now the trial's still going on. We got to stay tuned.
And the defense will begin tomorrow. And I want to ask you about this because I thought it was interesting. Not only, I mean, what the defense could have done, and because you've been on both sides of this, they could have just simply poked holes, right, in the prosecution's case. But instead, early on, day one, they came out with a whole new theory that this little girl drowned in a pool. And now do they have to go about proving that theory as opposed to just poking holes and creating doubt?
You're dead on. And what I think part of why this case has captivated everyone, besides the sadness of a child dying, which is that it really is where the state is showing certain information, and a lot of times you do poke holes. But here, the defense said, no, we are going to show you something. Even though we don't have the burden of proof, we're taking that on, and we're going to show you that this was an accident, that this is an abusive family, and that there's reasons why this mother of this child lied like she did, other than the fact that she would possibly have killed her child.
It just seems like a bigger burden for them. But I also want to talk to you about the possibility of Casey Anthony taking the stand. I mean, do you think she will take the stand, and how much do you think she'll be beaten up by the prosecution for all the lies that she apparently told early on in this investigation?
I'll be shocked if she doesn't take the stand, for the very reason that we just mentioned, which is her lawyer said that they're going to prove that she was a victim of abuse. If you remember, cross-examining Cindy Anthony or the father, they denied it. So the only other person who would be part of that would be Casey Anthony. So she's going to have to talk about that. And then, of course, she is going to have to ready herself some very tough cross-examination from those prosecutors who are going to go over in painful detail every lie that she made, and it's going to be up to her lawyer to show why that lie doesn't mean she's lying about what actually happened.
And so important that she holds it together on that stand, right?
She may need to lose it a little. I mean, I think she needs to be natural. I mean, juries smell phonies a mile away. This is not for TV. This is, remember, it's a death penalty case. This is for her life. And if she is sincere in what she's putting up, that is actually what has to come out.
All right, BJ, appreciate having your legal mind here in studio with us.
Great to be with you.
Thank you. And